There is an ancient observation that whispers through every civilization that ever rose and fell, that prosperity, when unbalanced, becomes a silent destroyer of peace. In our time, we call it progress, but the ancients knew it by another name, the curse of abundance. They understood that when wealth grows faster than wisdom, peace fades faster than gold can shine. And that is the hidden blueprint behind what we now call the prosperity paradox, the strange truth that the more we gain, the less we rest. If you look back, history repeats this pattern with haunting precision. Babylon, Egypt, Rome, even the golden age of Israel, each reached an age of great wealth, trade, and power. But as gold filled the temples, unrest filled the hearts of men. They built walls to guard their treasures, and those walls became their prisons. King Solomon, the wisest king ever to live, watched this unfold in his own lifetime. He once said, "Better a handful with quietness than 2 handfuls with toil and chasing after the wind." He saw the paradox before economists ever wrote about it, because peace cannot be bought, it must be built. In modern times, this same truth has been proven again, not by prophets, but by data. Economists have found what they call the Easterlin paradox, that when a nation becomes richer, its people don't always become happier. At first, wealth brings comfort, but beyond a certain point, the gain becomes hollow because what grows next isn't joy, it's desire. We start comparing. We look sideways instead of inward. And suddenly, peace, which once lived quietly in simplicity, now becomes something we must chase through possessions, status, and constant achievement. Even research by Harvard scholars like Clayton Christensen shows that pouring money into poor nations doesn't automatically create lasting prosperity. Because prosperity is not just about what we own, it's about how aligned we are. If there is no alignment between purpose, ethics, and community, wealth simply multiplies division. You see, wealth changes the human equation in subtle ways. When your life expands, your responsibilities multiply. When your resources increase, so does your risk. And when your influence grows, so does the weight of expectation. Suddenly, what was once peaceful becomes political, what was once personal becomes public. And the mind begins to seek safety not in silence, but in control. That is how the prosperity paradox traps us. We start working to protect what we once worked to create. And the walls of protection soon become the walls of anxiety. But here's the truth the ancients held: prosperity without purpose will always turn to chaos. Because abundance without inner balance becomes addiction. It feeds the ego but starves the soul. The real prosperity, they said, was not in the gold a man holds, but in the calm he carries. It's why the Stoics of Rome taught restraint, why the Sufis of Persia preached detachment, why the monks of the East chose simplicity, not because they despised wealth, but because they feared its shadow, the noise that comes after abundance. So how do we escape this paradox? How do we gain prosperity and still keep our peace? The answer isn't in rejecting wealth, it's in redefining it. You see, wealth that serves a purpose becomes a blessing, but wealth that serves only the self becomes a burden. True prosperity aligns 3 things: purpose, peace, and possession. When any one of these grows faster than the other 2, imbalance begins. If your purpose outgrows your resources, you live in frustration. If your resources outgrow your purpose, you live in emptiness. And if peace lags behind both, no amount of success will feel like rest. That is why every builder of lasting empires, from Solomon to Ashoka to Marcus Aurelius, eventually realized that gold could strengthen a kingdom, but only wisdom could sustain it. Today we live in the same tension, earning more, buying more, achieving more, and yet feeling more restless than ever. We call it ambition, but much of it is anxiety in disguise. We call it growth, but often it's escape from stillness. The modern world has taught us how to make a living, but forgotten how to make peace. And that's the real paradox. We've mastered abundance, but lost alignment. So here is the hidden blueprint. Before you build more, build within. Before you seek gain, seek grounding. Let your wealth be an instrument, not an identity. And never confuse the abundance of things with the abundance of spirit. Because the man who owns much but sleeps little is poorer than the man who owns little but rests deeply. True prosperity is when what you have and who you are finally agree. That is when gold becomes peace and wealth becomes wisdom. This is Hidden Blueprint, uncovering the timeless laws that built greatness long before money existed. If this message reached you, remember, peace is not the absence of need, it is the mastery of enough.